We're live.
I thought you were gonna do the theme song.
Oh,
That's low key what I was waiting on.
wait, no, that was both. Oh, it just
I,
changes. Okay, just pull it
I
from the
thought it was like
accounts.
"Let Go and Flow" or something.
Let go and flow. Oh,
Oh my
oh,
god. Okay,
let go and
we're
flow.
back with "Let Go and Flow." I'm Ray,
And I'm Sahat,
and
and
we're
we're
your
your favorite
favorite spiritual
spiritual
couple.
couple.
and of course, I am Destin, Mr. Steady Stepper. And welcome back to another lit situation with the littest energy in all the universe.
It's a
So
lituation, if you will.
It's a
is it gonna be a lituation with the situation today on the Let Go and Flow show? Hold on, I gotta get my background right again, y'all. Hold up. Let me figure out what I did last week, and I'm gonna do it again this week. Here we
All right.
go.
yeah.
Cause I'm
Switch
smarter than
dimensions on them real quick.
So
mm,
today we're talking about something very exciting, y'all.
Talking about abundance
Mindset.
in the mind.
So what's crazy is, a lot of people think that your financial situation has everything. There you go, steady
Come through.
wait,
stepping.
hold on. They ain't that one too big because we're gonna do it. We're gonna put that real multi-dimensional flow. There we go. There go that
Get
flow.
dapper on them.
A lot of people think that your financial situation has to do with your circumstances, with where you were born, with your class system, with your neighborhood, the environment around you, what your parents had said, and or the family you were born into. But the truth of it is, your abundance, your financial situation, your wealth has all to do with this thing right here.
Absolutely. When you look at every story of somebody who succeeded, whether it was in business, whether it was in acting, making movies, whatever it was, anybody who started from quote unquote nothing
Started from the bottom, now we here.
Whoop,
had that
whoop.
mindset to go from the bottom to here, where they at now, in the now.
It's true. And you can ask millionaires, they'll be like, I was a millionaire here in my mind, like before it ever actually manifested. And that's part of the manifestation, is being able to really create that visual in your mind first. Feel it, live it, breathe it, be it, and then allow it to flow to you.
Yeah, you got to see that $3 million duffel bag full of money in your front living room, just chilling, just ready for you to tap in because it's just overflowing. Like that kind of abundance,
He
like that.
said that to me earlier, like, love, there's a duffel bag of $3 million right behind you in our living room. It's right behind you. Like,
Hey, and
That don't
what
mean
kind
come
of
check
thought?
us
What
out,
kind
but
of
it's in everybody's living room though. That energy.
man?
What
I'm
you say,
telling
brother?
you. I was gonna say, what kind of when you begin to think of that abundance mindset was like, I got $3 million sitting right behind me. Like, man, what was your energy like? What did the air smell like? What did it what did it what did it feel like when you like we got 3 mil right behind the couch, ready, ready to really propel us as seeds? Because the thing about abundance and the creation of it, abundance is abundance is a thought process. Everything that you do once you put yourself in the life of living an abundant life, it's around you. You don't look at money as, oh, I only have $100. No, guess how many pennies it take to make $1?
Hmm.
100. So if you multiply 100 pennies by 100 actual dollars, I think that don't get me wrong. I
I
think that might be like 10,000 pennies, right?
don't know. 1,000,
100.
10,000. Let us know in the comments. We don't do math. I just count money.
Yeah, it's a one with a bunch of zeros behind it.
Yes,
I know that.
10,000. See,
10,000.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I had
that's
said.
10,000. So you
I think
got
y'all
over 10,000 opportunities with just $100. Like, don't that, like, even thinking about it from another perspective, it's like, dang, there's so many more opportunities than I would think of just it being 100.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Ain't no
And
10x, 100x.
and the thing with that mindset is that, like, money is just an energy exchange. It is an energy exchange. So I always love to bring it back down to the energetic, and so the law of compensation states that in order to have a transfer, there must be an exchange of energy, because energy is neither created nor destroyed, only transformed, right? So
Mhm.
if there is some kind of transfer that takes place, there needs to be an even exchange of energy. So when you go to the store and you purchase a gallon of vegan milk, and and you pay them they little $3, it is an exchange of energy. So if you're ever feeling like you have a lack of abundance, 9 times out of 10 there is a blockage in your energy field, right? So what you can do is you can just kind of be one with that and realize what the universe is trying to tell you in that lack of abundance. Sahat used to call it, it's so funny, he'd be like, yeah, I'm in between abundance. You got to change your
I like
language. You know what
that.
I'm saying? You
I
can't be
like
out
that.
here talking about I'm broke. I'm broke. I ain't got it. I ain't got it. Dr. B Serious said the other day, he was like, somebody was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got it. I'm broke. I'm broke. But you have, okay, you not broke. How much money do you have in your account right now? And dude was like $150. And he was like, so you have $150 in your account right now. You're not broke. Like, so saying that is repeating that energy of lack within your subconscious and unconscious mind. And your unconscious mind is what brings forth the manifestation. So just realizing that it's an exchange in energy. And guess what else is energy?
What?
Your thoughts.
Hmm.
What?
When you think, it creates a wave of frequency that leaves your brain and is transmitted and received to other brains. So if
Mm.
a thought is energy, a thought is a frequency, and all money is an energetic exchange, a frequency exchange, then your thought process can align with the vibration of money. What? That's all you got to do. You have to align your thought process with the vibration of money. So you have to learn the psychology of money, the way that money flows, you know? And abundance isn't just about money.
It is.
Oh no, money.
It's about
Go
the
ahead.
energy of living in that sense of everything flows, overflows with whether it's love, whether it's joy, whether it's finances, whether it's those connections with loved ones, all of it. It's is abundance.
Mm. The word abundant means to have everything you need for today, to have more than you need for today.
Man, cause and that's what I love about even having an abundance mindset because every day you wake up, I mean, whatever you need is already there. You just have to be able to see it. Like we were speaking about last week, the flowers, right? Those flowers were so plentiful in my yard. Those flowers continuously grow year and year and year and year after that I've been living here. And it's the same with every opportunity that we think in our thoughts. Like if you like Ray was saying earlier, when you thinking, oh, I'm broke, I can't afford this, you thinking in broke abundances. So every time you see something that you feel like you can't afford, then that frequency comes out like, oh, we ain't gonna never get that, so we just gonna count ourselves out. Versus like, that's already mine. Like every time I have something that I already want, or every time not already want, every time I see something that I don't yet have for me, but that is already in existence, I say that's mine. Like I know I got this big dream and this big vision of having like 10,000 acres, and I'll just go on the computer sometimes and I go look at different plots and I say that's already my land. My land is all my 10,000 acres is already mine. I'm just waiting to go lay my feet into that dirt to truly claim it to be mine in this dimension. But you already have the thing about the creation and the energetic thoughts that you create with abundance, you have to believe and already move as if it is already yours. Like if you got a house that you want, right? You have to really live in the moment and in the reality of I already got the keys to the house. We be going to sleep in that house even before you truly sign the dotted line or you go through the steps to get that actual house. In reality, you got to already have it up here. So how? So with me and the spiritual couple, they're a lot further along in this journey, right? Could y'all tell them how high vibrational frequencies able allow us to unlock different pathways for our brain to create more abundant thoughts?
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
that right there, those frequencies, that's right there. That's that one, coach.
So when you think about the fact that you can program water with affirmations, with invocations, you can program the frequency of water by telling it you love it, by telling it that it heals your body, by whatever it is that you want to program into that water, it will have that frequency in it, especially the more you compound it with cymatic frequencies, with sound. So because most of our body physically is water, which is liquid crystals, and that those crystals store energy. When you tell yourself that you can't do something, you're programming your body to accept that as the truth. Whereas if you tell your body, you tell your cells that you can do anything that you put your mind to, that this is my island, this is my land right here, that's my car, this is my duffel bag full of $3 million, then you create that energy because you are seeing it, you are believing it, and you are locking it into your consciousness, but you're locking into the consciousness throughout your entire cells, which is your innate. When you get into your innate is the consciousness of your cells. So you have all this micro and macrocosm that makes you, your soul, your consciousness to your cells, your higher self. These are all aspects of you. So when you look at how powerful the soul is that we all have, the soul is pure, it's pure love, it's pure bliss, it is that spark of the divine. And when you know that and you cognize that and embrace that divine within you, then you see the abundance, because everything is God, everything is creation, everything is source, everything is connected to each other. If you were to look at us from the most multi-spectral, multi-dimensional scope at what the human being looks like, it would, if there was a word in our language that means that it radiates to every point in existence, and we are all that. So when you see that, then you see like, man, I'm part of something majestic, something grand, and we're all a part of that. So it's not even so much that you are looking at it as, oh, I want to be abundant. Let's all be abundant. You're in that energy where you can cheer people on, like, hey, you doing this, yo, run that play, brother. Run that play, sis, because you out here making big moves. I love that. You out here flowing in divine purpose.
Also, like to bring it to a like practical standpoint, to raise your physical vibration, the easiest way to do it is to go on a fast or go on a cleanse. Because what's going to happen is you're going to raise the vibration of your cells. To clean out your cells, in order to have a healthy cell, it needs to be able to consume water, it needs to be fully hydrated, it needs to be able to, it needs oxygen, water, and to be able to eliminate waste. If your cells can do those three things easily and happily and without obstruction, then you have a healthy body, right? So what happens is when you raise the vibrational level of your cells, and when you go through fasting after 18 hours without food, your body goes into self-healing mode and your cells begin to regenerate at a way more rapid speed than they would if you were eating. And the reason being is because 75 to 80% of our daily energy is dedicated for digestion.
Mm.
So when you take that out of the picture, you will raise the literal frequency of your physical body, which opens up the gateway for manifestation way easier. And like I said earlier, it is the law of compensation. Everything requires an energetic exchange. So if you're looking to manifest more finances in your life, go on a cleanse real quick. Go in with the intention. And what's going to happen is your unconscious mind is going to be like, okay, so this is the intention and this is the currency. The fast is the currency in order to receive that, which is amazing. And I have a perfect example. In 2017, like all this stuff happened to me, like account fraud, car was totaled from some kid who fell asleep at the wheel or whatever happened, and evicted, and like all this crazy stuff. I wasn't actually evicted, but I was kicked out, but you know, whatever. And so in 2018 was when I started my vegan journey. And I went vegetarian first, and I was like, okay, well, we might as well go all the way. I had scared myself with all them Netflix documentaries, you know, and I was like, let's just go all the way. And I started with the Master Cleanse, and it was a 10-day, like, no food. You could have tea and this like lemon concoction you made and water, and that was it for 10 days. And I did it for 7 my first time, like, first time ever giving up food in my life. I did it for 7. And 5 days in, I had got a phone call that was like, hey, we got your check ready for your vehicle that was totaled last year. What was awesome was the insurance company had already paid off my car. So
Mm.
the check was all profit, like all extra. Before the end of the week, I was in a new car, a hybrid.
Oh man, that's blessing.
You know what I'm talking about? And I was like,
Blessing
you
indeed.
know, okay, 5 days in, I got the news. And then that energy continues because you've now built momentum. And a few weeks later, I was promoted at my job from like a server to a manager at the restaurant I was working at. So it was just like you give something up and the universe will bliss you or will grant you whatever it is that you seek or your intention or what you ask for. And the reason being is because you raise your physical body to a vibrational level to where manifestation is easy.
So when we talk about it on an energetic level, or even when we hear about human sacrifice, the original human sacrifice
I'm like, how you be
was
connecting these dots?
you about to see. So the original human sacrifice was, to bring it first full circle, what you just talked about, is being able to go out within yourself and bring out those attachments that you have to certain things. So you want to manifest those millions of dollars, you got to remove your attachments to money. Those,
He'll come back.
he'll be here. So you have to remove those attachments that you have to money so that you can manifest it, because those are the blockages, those are the hurdles, those attachments. And like Ray was saying, when you have that attachment to food and you release through the detox, through the fast, it allows your energy to flow more freely to where you can cognize, clarify, um, you can see the bigger picture, and you can see how to get there energetically because you're in that vibration where it's like, whoa, now I'm in a space where my body physically is dedicated to generating instead of digestion. And then you can generate that manifestation because you have that energy in your field, in your consciousness, because it's
Hmm.
all connected.
And that's the key. It is all connected. You know, that's why I preach mind, body, and spirit, because it's not one or the other. It's yes and. You know, it's mind, body, and spirit. And once they are all in alignment, that is when your energy begins to flow freely through your energetic body, your physical body, and then also around you, your aura. Your aura is an energy that surrounds you that is basically what cultivates the space that you live in. So, like, if you take a look around your space, if it's like cluttered and junky and like stuff all over the place, that is a physical representation of what's going on in your mind, right? So, what you perceive in this life, the things that you see, are a mirrored image of what's going on in your mind. If your mind is cluttered, you're thinking about all this stuff, you got all these different projects, and you never really finish anything, you start some and then you start something else and you move over here, your physical reality, your physical world is going to look like that. And so that's why discipline is the biggest form of self love, because you are conditioning, you are teaching your mind how to build new neural pathways. And having that discipline, honestly, it's only challenging at first because while you're going through it, you're creating those new neural pathways, so you have to kind of move the clutter out of the way to make a path, right? Think about, like, before there were actual, like, the trails in a forest, people had to walk back and forth on those trails, traveling with their carts and buggies and horses, or just walking through multiple times before it created a path, right? The same thing happens within your brain. If you don't create that path, and the more you got to trudge through all the stuff, you got to trudge through all the stuff, and then it'll create a path for you. And once it does create that path, then it's so much easier for you to navigate, right? So it's a little challenging at first. Same thing with like building a muscle. It's a little challenging at first, but the more you do it, it becomes a habit. And all a habit is an unconsciously competent action that you do. Unconsciously competent means you ain't even got to think about it, and you do it automatically, like tying your shoe, or like signing your name, or typing out your address. Those are things you don't, driving home from work. Those are things you don't have to think about. You can do it automatically. It's fine. So what's awesome about creating new neural pathways in your brain is you can just do it over and over and over again until you don't have to think about it anymore. Welcome
Mm.
back.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on. I was just like, whatever. I just had to log out and log back in. But that's how you know it's always something great going on, because it's a connection issue, and then you can't hear stuff, and then you be missing out. But that means we dropping some abundant seeds on the Let Go and Flow show today. So
Absolutely.
I mean, truly, what Ray was saying was you got to create that habit of thinking in abundance, even when things aren't even going your way, because you got to look at it from the perspective of when things aren't going the way you think they should, they're going the way that you feel they should. And that
Mm.
goes back with her cast,
Hold
what
on,
she,
hold on.
even
Before you continue, I need you to say that again for the people in the back.
Yeah, there were some people in the back.
They said, huh? What you say?
though things aren't going the way you think they should, they are truly going the way you feel they should.
Mm.
Because I was looking at a video the other day, and it was talking about the different laws of the universe, and one of them is law of cause, oh, excuse me, cause and effect.
Mm,
So for every action there's a reaction. So
mhm,
if you say I want to create, like I told myself I wanted to create at least $2,000 of value for a client. So I said, okay, let me figure out how I can do that. And then I'll be working on this app with senior citizens. So a job had came up, and the lady needed it was some small stuff. Like she wanted her apartment cleaned up, and she wanted just some companionship, which is a conversation. So when you say these things like, oh, I want to create $2,000 of value, oh, I want to have this dream body, oh, I want to meet the next woman of my dreams. Are you truly putting yourself in alignment for those things when they put themselves in a position to become a reality. So when I said I wanted to create the value, the little notification thing went off on my phone, and it was like, "Hey, we got a job popped up an hour. That's in an hour." I was like, "Whoa!" It popped up just that quick. A notification came on. Now, all the times those notifications aren't gonna come through your phone, so it ain't gonna be no poop, big slap on the forehead. But if you are at a high enough level of consciousness, the notification will still come up. It'll just come up in a different way, like, "Hey, how you doing? Could you tell me where such and such at?" Or, "Hey, how you doing? Do you know somebody that could provide such and such service?" Or, "Oh, I really like your smile," or, "I really like how you put those colors together." Those notifications come up through the slightest form of conversation. You have to what I'm learning, truly, we get the opportunity to see beyond the surface of what it is that we really want. We have to look at, again, not what, but sometimes more so who, because we know it's a who that has our how. Where do we want to go? Because a lot of things that are standing in between us and our destination of our goal is a person that makes a decision.
Oof,
Decision maker,
that was a bar.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was a bar.
When you figure out, okay, it's a decision maker, right? It's not a computer really most of the time. Somebody has to put that in the computer. So how can I serve the person that is the decision maker to help me get what I need or to help me get what I want? How can I serve them with my abundance thinking to allow my abundance to flow through them? Everybody has something that they want, desire, or believe they should have. A lot of times, you may be that one that can help them get what they thought was impossible or a lot further down the road than what it truly, truly is. Like us connected with this show, right? We connecting different platforms through different communities to truly build a network that may have taken us what may have taken us 10 years. We get together with conscious thought and energy. We can do it in 6 months to a year through intentionality and truly living an abundance mind. I mean, truly living an abundance lifestyle.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Let's talk about that. What is an abundance lifestyle?
To me, and through my perception, an abundance lifestyle is never believing that I have a lack of anything.
Hmm.
Even though, like Sahat, brother Sahat said, my abundance it's departed from me in the slightest bit in the monetary form. My thoughts are constantly overflowing in abundance with new ideas. But you want to know what I realized stopped abundance?
Go ahead.
Me, the being,
Mm.
and my lack of execution on those abundant thoughts to bring them into this dimension.
That
I
part.
think that's the key. It's the actions because here's the thing. I'm the unconscious mind expert over here. The unconscious mind is what creates your reality, right? So if your conscious mind, and through your conscious mind you express those thoughts through words, right? If your conscious mind says I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, or I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, but your actions don't align with that, your unconscious mind picks up the information from your actions. So we have to build habits of abundance. And what is a lack mindset? Like, let's talk about what a lack mindset is so our audience can pinpoint that in themselves. Like, do I have a lack mindset? For example, um,
Trying.
yeah.
Say. Okay, message come through.
Oh,
Uh,
that was my. I'm about to change up the flow a little bit on the show, but go ahead and keep talking, brother Sahat.
so saying things like I'm trying to do this or I can't do this. That language creates that blockage. that prevents you from doing that in your conscious mind. And it just builds up in your unconscious to where it's like, we can't do that. Or we're just gonna try stuff and it may succeed, it may not, because try doesn't have any action energy behind it.
Or even saying the word want. Like, I want $1 million.
Can
That
y'all
is
hear that?
a little bit.
Okay, that's what I want. I want just to faint.
I love
Just to faint.
playing the frequencies and whatnot.
Going with that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, because as we're talking, we also have to remember how many unconscious thoughts that we are going against with all our listeners.
Mm,
It's a lot. They got a lot of thoughts racing through their mind because it could potentially be a lot of distractions. They could be at home right now, right? They could be in the streets right now. But the thing I love about the frequencies is us being vibrations, right? These frequencies through all forms of music, even on the radio, is hertz.
hmm
And the hertz is what sends out those vibrational energies to allow us to tap into another source, which I haven't done the research to really understand what the frequencies does as far as how they use it to program. But these frequencies, they're a form of programming. They're a form of us connecting with a higher source of consciousness.
hmm
Hmm.
But go ahead, Ray. That was my fault.
No, you're good. It's right in alignment. It's right in alignment because exactly everything is frequency. And sometimes your actions create a stronger frequency than what your conscious mind will say. So if you're someone who is struggling with abundance and your conscious mind is like, okay, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. Like, but your actions do not align with that thought process, your unconscious mind isn't going to believe it. So frequencies, I'm a transition and tie and sew it all together. Frequencies is a really great gateway to unlock and open up the unconscious mind and allow those frequencies to kind of do their dance with the unconscious mind, right? So allowing and playing frequencies, like last night, for example, we're tapping a lot more into this energy of abundance, and we're utilizing all of the things. And that's the key. Utilize all the things, not just one thing. It's not just one thing that's going to make you $1 million. You got to put
Mhm.
all the little pieces together. Okay. So we listen to a Stargate meditation, and we're going to get into that later. That's a whole different topic.
What's
Um,
what's that?
right, exactly. Y'all not ready.
No, they ready. They ready.
They
No,
ready,
well,
Sahat?
well, he
I
said
say
y'all
y'all ready.
ready.
They ready.
We'll get into Stargate in just a moment. Shout out the Stargate team. Shout out Alcazar. But anyway, we did a Stargate meditation and then we created a little playlist. So after the Stargate meditation goes into sleep hypnosis of abundance and prosperity. Because putting in the intention, right? So this is an action. Putting in the intention to play this and allow my unconscious mind to receive it while I sleep, that is an action of intention, right? So actions support your intentions. So if you act, for example, like if you're at the grocery store and let's say you balling on a budget, you feel me? You at the grocery store, you only got a certain amount that you could spend, but everything you do is like, well, how much is this? And you looking at the price, you checking for the price the whole time. Your focus is continuously going to the price. And if your focus is continuously going to the price, instead of thinking of how much you have, 9 times out of 10, you're thinking about, okay, well, I only got, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
That is a action of lack.
Hmm.
So you have to bring, or every time you like, oh, well, if we do this, it'll save a little bit of money or it'll be a little cheaper or, you know what I'm saying? You telling
Pocket
your
watch.
unconscious mind, yeah, you telling your unconscious mind, okay, well, we got to watch our finances, which means the unconscious mind is going to deliver you limited finances.
Hmm. So with those actions, right? What are some actions that will allow you to truly, because we know it's like layers to it. So of course you got to start with thinking and feeling the abundance mindset. what are the actions that you use to create that abundance mindset? Like two actions that you could use. One action you can use to break the lack and the belief of lack, and then one action you can use to create the belief of abundance.
So the first thing you got to do is bring awareness to it. You have to be aware of when you're acting in a space of lack. And the second you realize it, you have to interrupt your pattern. So this is where neuro linguistic programming comes in. You reprogram your mind. That's how you do it. So in order to do that, you have to kind of think of a CD. When you scratch up a CD and then you try to play it, it's not going to play the same thing anymore, right? So when you interrupt the pattern, you have these neural pathways which allow neurons to fire from one to another easily because you've had that habit and you've created that in your mind. But you have to break that pattern. You have to break that pathway in order for you to build a new one. So the best way is to interrupt the pattern. So for example, I use this on my clients all the time. For limiting beliefs, let's say, for example, you have this inner monologue in your head that's like, oh, well, I don't have enough money, right? Let's just use that. I don't have enough. If you ever feel that way, like you done paid your bills, you done gassed up your car, you done paid your car note and insurance and all this stuff, and then you have the thought in your mind that you don't have enough money to whatever, that is a thought that repeats over and over and over and presents itself in different situations, and you realize it. You're like, oh, I don't have enough money, right? So to interrupt that pattern, every time you have that thought, bring awareness to it and use a funny voice, like a super silly, like Mickey Mouse voice. Oh boy, I don't have enough money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, would you listen to that guy? Like, oh, sit down, Mickey Mouse. You sound childish right now. Like, get in the back seat. You sound childish.
Man,
You know what I mean? And you interrupt that pattern, and what it does, it makes you laugh a little bit, right? Oh, that's funny. That's
yeah.
crazy. That interrupts your pattern.
And the thing too, I was very, very observant of that you were saying is about that interruption of that thought. Because the thing is, a thought can be quiet but loud at the same time. It can be in the back of your mind, but at the forefront of your hearing, almost like somebody is speaking to you. So
Hmm.
when your brain's like, oh man, I don't even have enough of that. Soon as you catch it, stop it. Say, I have more than enough to do everything that I desire, even after all your bills paid. I have more than enough to go out and go get what I need from the grocery store.
And you got the second part. That is the second point. So the first point is to interrupt the pattern. And the second point is to reprogram it, replace the thought and say it out loud, you know? And it's not going to happen the first time. The first time you do it, it takes repetition. You got to do it over and over and over and over again. That is how programming works. But the more you scratch that CD, the more you continue to interrupt that pattern in every situation. You got to, like, thinking is the hardest work you'll ever do.
What? Man, I'm telling you though,
Thinking is the hardest work you will ever do.
until you become a regular at it.
Mhm.
And then it
Exactly.
ain't hard, it's just a part of life.
Exactly. And that's why habits are so powerful. That's why I coach and I preach habits all the time. You have to audit your habits. You know, what you don't manage, what you don't measure does not get managed. So you have to audit them on a daily basis. Okay, how can I be better tomorrow? You know, and continue to interrupt your patterns and then replace them with a new empowering pattern that will take you to where you're looking to go.
And the true thing about being able to think is you have to realize when you're not thinking. If you can do something, okay, I'm gonna give you an example when you're not thinking. If you can go into a daydreaming state and you can go to a place without consciously thinking about it, that is a unconscious habit. If you can do something, we're gonna say walking up the steps and texting on the phone. You are consciously texting on the phone, but unconsciously walking up the steps. unconsciously you get up and go to the gym because you've been in a routine of it for years. So that is a unconscious habit. That is a habit. But the thing about when you want to create an abundance mindset that you don't already have, you have to break those conscious habits of lack. You have to break those conscious habits of listening to things that do not promote abundance, like reality TV shows maybe saying, I don't have this or that. Could you putting yourself in a position to where you're comparing yourself to something or someone that has all these things, but not realizing the mental work that they went through to create that level of abundance in their mind.
Mm-hmm.
We as beings, definitely, and I'm speaking of myself too. Um, we as beings have to really pay attention to our own journey, be on our own journey, and say, I love what you have, but damn it, I love what I have even more because mine's is mine's, and what's for me is for me, and can't nobody give it or take it.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
You gotta definitely create that belief and conviction within your heart, spirit, and mind to know that when you put in that work, it's gonna become a reality, whether you make it good or bad. And that goes with your thoughts because the thoughts create intentionality. Intentionality creates action. And then that action gives you your results.
Mm-hmm.
Like for you to really, really bring that abundance in, you have to pour abundance into everyone you speak to as well. Because sometimes our energy shifts. That's just because we have emotions. So you have to also speak this abundance into your community of the people that you're always around.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you don't feel as abundant and you can't at that direct moment really re-energize yourself, you may need that boost of energy and abundant thinking from somebody else. And there's nothing wrong with that because the more and more, like Ray was saying, that you catch it and you're able to interrupt it, you may be able to call a friend and say, hey, I need some of that abundant energy you got. And they like, man, you can get all this abundance because we got so much of it. They're
Yeah.
glad to give it because you've already poured it into them.
Mm-hmm.
And it really starts with that self love, because to be able to pour and allow that abundance within you to overflow into other people's cups, so that it can overflow into other people's cups from them, you have to have your cup full. You have to
Mm-hmm.
have your cup overflowing with that unconditional love.
And
And you can, and going into, just going into your soul and seeing how beautiful your soul is. That's one of those things you can do where you're driving. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Like, you're just walking around, be like, man, my soul is amazing. Like, I love this. I love me. I love everything, because when you fall in love, when you rise in love
mm,
with your soul, you see that beauty, that magnificence that's within you, that's within everything, that's within that tree, that's within that bird, that's within each person, that's within everything in our perception, in our reality, in existence.
and I completely agree. Self-love is definitely the first step. And even deeper than self-love, it should be self-worth. Because it goes back to what Dustin was talking about earlier. You know, you might think that you deserve something, but if you don't feel it, if you don't believe it, then it's not going to flow to you. You know, you what did you say, Dustin? You think you deserve it, but you don't
Oh,
feel
you
you
think
deserve.
you deserve one thing, but you feel like you deserve something else.
Yeah. And so self-worth is about the feeling of what you deserve. You know, if you've ever felt, and I felt this way for a long time in my younger years, that I wasn't enough, or that I wasn't really enough. That's really it. I wasn't enough. I felt that way in a lot of situations due to childhood traumas and childhood programming and all this stuff, right? And so that translates into other aspects of your life. And you could see it manifest in like my relationships. Like I was with these dudes who decided to put their hands on me and manipulate me in all kinds of crazy ways and all this stuff. And it's just like, it all comes and stems from self-worth. Like when you start to love yourself, your self-worth starts to go up. And so I like to use them synonymously with each other, because sometimes when you say self-love, that's not the first thing people think about. But I want you to know, in this space right now and forevermore, you are enough. Everything that exists within you.
Hmm.
Mm.
All the things that you think about, if you can visualize it, you can have it, you can create
Oh, don't be stealing my stuff like that, Ray.
it.
Hey, I
it's,
swear I say that all the time.
it's true. If you could visualize it, you could create it, because what happens is that thought, that vibration goes out into the field, and the field contains every potentiality that ever will, can, or might exist, right? And with your level of consciousness, you are able to grab those things from the field and bring them into the physical
Hmm.
through transferring of energy. And that's all it is. So, self love and self worth.
That's that magnet that draws everything to you that you deserve, that you will to create in your reality.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And that's truly, truly amazing because man, like for you to what I'm learning too, you have to be around everything that is abundant too. Because if you don't see abundance, then you don't believe that it is truly in existence already. Like if you're around things that are not plentiful, if you're around things that I mean people that don't believe they are plentiful, if you are around even yourself sometimes and you're not feeling plentiful, then that energy of lack will begin to just fall on you like water. Like words are so much more vital and nutritious than we give them power and belief of. Like sometimes, like whenever I feel like things are lacking, I like to just go outside and look around. Literally go outside and look around. I can promise you, you will not find anything of lack unless you see lack through your perspective.
Ooh, say
Mm,
it again.
You will not find anything of lack unless you see it through your perspective.
Mm-hmm.
When
that's
I say that, go look at the nearest car to you. I don't care that car's on four flat tires. Guess what? That car is not lacking tires. What about go look at a tree? How many times do you truly, truly, truly see a tree by itself?
Mm.
hmm
Unless it's in somebody's yard and somebody else don't came and cut all the trees around it, then that's man-made. But guess what? Even though you see it by itself on the top, guarantee you if you go below that surface, what you gonna see?
They connected.
everything connected.
In an abundance too. Roots not by themselves. It
Mm-mm.
may look like it's one tree above, but when you dig deeper than the actual surface level that we can see a lot of times, the stuff that's covered up, what? You got hundreds of roots. You got thousands of smaller roots. And probably billions of other smaller roots than those that we can even see with the naked eye.
Mm.
And that's a
Because
reflection of your soul,
what?
of how we're
We
all connected.
we're trees. We
Yeah.
are like I really look at us like trees because if you notice trees that are in groups or clusters, trees that are in groups or clusters average about 1 to 2 feet difference of each other.
Mm.
Hmm
If you will never see you'll really never see a 30-foot tree next to a 10-foot tree.
Mm.
You're gonna see a 10-foot tree next to a 12-foot tree, or a 10-foot tree next to an 8-foot tree, because their roots have created a stable environment to where that's where they're gonna kind of tap max out at. But them trees, them oak trees that stand hundreds and hundreds of feet tall, those trees in that environment, they got a lot thicker roots. They got a lot, they have a lot more creative energy around them. And I don't know what the creative energy they have, but I know it's a lot more than the taller trees. I mean, than the shorter trees,
Yeah.
because they reaching further. And that was, of course, what they were created for. But what about those trees that transplanted that used to be 10 feet tall? What about when the wind picked them up in their season and carried them over with the taller guys? How do you think that tree? What y'all think that tree was saying, Ray and Sahat, or that seed was saying when he was like, "It's my time to go to 30 feet."
No limits.
Absolutely
Man,
abundant. And I love the fact that you brought it back to Gaia. I'm in an accountability group, and we meet well, it was every Thursday. We moved to every Wednesday. And I was really excited to talk about this today. It just kind of organically came up. I was talking about the cycles of a human, and we are a direct reflection of what's going on in nature. So,
mm,
like, I had planted the seeds for a bell pepper plant a few months
ooh,
ago. And as I watch this plant grow and expand, it is such a divine reflection. Like, first, you got to cultivate the soil, right? Then you got to plant the seeds, and you have to water the seeds every single day as they grow, every single day until they have enough momentum and they begin to grow on their own with sunlight. You still water it, but you don't have to water it as frequently, right? And then they start to bud, and these little buds come out, and you think that they're little bell peppers and they're so cute. And then all of a sudden, a flower blossoms.
mm.
And from that flower is where the actual bell pepper will begin to grow. So what's amazing is a lot of us, especially because of technology, like y'all got stuff like Tinder where y'all could just hook up real quick and you ain't even gotta date nobody no more. Everything is so rushed. Relationships
Yeah,
are rushed,
Microwave society.
finances are rushed, right? Your dinner is rushed. Everything is so rushed, right? So we forget that we have to enjoy the process as long as we go, and as you really align yourself with Mother Gaia and realize, like, this is we going into spring right now. It's March. You know what I'm talking about? We got 20 days until the equinox. And spring is the perfect time to start planting, cultivating the soil and planting your seeds. And when you plant those seeds, you can't just plant them and leave them.
you
You
got to
have to
nurture.
water. You got to water them things every day. The grass is greener where? Not on the other side, on the side that's watered. You know what I'm saying? You have to continue to water. Oh, you got a call coming. Okay, we got to wrap this thing up. You have to continue to water your seeds until they begin to sprout and grow. And before you bear the fruit, first you must blossom. You must come out and show the world who you are.
Yeah, and I
I'm about to
definitely
share.
want to say something before we close out too. Um, I had just so happened to open up Facebook. I don't even be on Facebook, but look at this picture, right? You
I
Hmm.
like
I've
that.
seen that picture before. Yeah.
seen that one?
What's the caption say?
It has words under it. It's really no caption, but it has words under it. So it says, "Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. This includes our souls. We simply transfer locations and forms, but never are we destroyed. You are an infinite being here to learn and experience for the growth of your soul."
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And truly, that that reminds me time and time again. Even if you look at this picture, you can't. But do you see how it's transferring into another dimension?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even though that's kind of how life is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I was saying those seeds get released from those 10-foot trees to go over and to elevate to the 30-foot trees, and the cycle will continue. That's what it's about. It's about reaching back and pulling one of those seedlings up to our new level of ascension.
Yes.
You
You
can't
talking
be afraid to reach back and help somebody nurture and cultivate their seedling. Because guess what? Guess what, y'all?
what?
Somebody did the same thing for us.
Oh,
That's
This.
that abundance creativity.
yes.
We not scared to give the seeds away. We not scared to give out the nutritional value
Hmm.
because we got a bigger source pouring into us.
Wow.
Indeed.
How disrespectful will we be to break the chain of abundance now? I'm
Highly
not gonna have
disrespectful.
that on me. We living in abundant love, abundant freedom. Freedom is not monetary because you don't print it, you don't make it. Nothing outside of you is really yours to control. This is your freedom. This is your abundance. This is your creativity. Everything is created here first. If you can't live an abundant mind, if you can't live an abundant life in this dimension of your brain and of your cloud, oh my goodness, you never will be able to live an abundant life outside of your body. I don't lack for anything within my brain. I don't lack for anything within my mind. All I do is give it a task and let that seed grow. Because with my level of conviction and overstanding that I truly believe that I create, that tree is going to grow.
Mm.
And the fruit that it bears is based on the soil that I give it in the water that I pour onto it. So if it's not good, we get to point the fingers at us.
Right.
Exactly.
Yo,
That,
Dust. This
that's that bring
fire.
it home
This
reality for
has
the
been.
what y'all was saying.
This was fire.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's that abundance though. This is what this is why we create these things. Well, I'm gonna say this is we because we on the same frequency. These people, the spiritual couple right here, or they this side, they on this side of me. Yeah, but we created this show to be abundant through our words, through our actions, and through our living. So each and every one of you all on the other side of these cameras can know and understand how do you create it in your dimension.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And and you saying the last thing that you said reminded me of like that fear mindset. I would like to talk about overcoming fear next week.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's that one.
yeah. Because that's what's really holding you back. What's holding you back is you scared of something. So we're gonna go deep next week.
We're gonna go deeper than the surface next week.
Yeah.
Oh
We
yeah.
go deeper than this one this week. We
Mm-hmm.
might have to bring the excavator out then. We gonna have to bring that machine out, huh? Yeah, because y'all know we always on let go and flow. We just let the currency flow really within our dimensional brains and let that energy just truly, truly pour out the same way in which it was poured into us.
Yes.
Hmm.
Life is so abundant, y'all, and we create everything that is in our present.
That
We're not gonna be perfect, but damn it, we could be better than yesterday.
right. Right.
Let's go, let go, and flow.
Yes.
I kind of like how they did. I like that closing. And we will see you back next week,
Yes.
Wednesday, 5 p.m. Georgia time, 4 p.m. Chi Town time. Any other time if you're not in those two states, Google it.
That part. Yeah, thank y'all so
Hey,
much for tapping in. We really appreciate it. We're a little late. Well, he's late. I'm not. I'm free.
let's go. Hey, and y'all make sure y'all tap on me on the Steady Steppin Podcast on Instagram, and y'all tap on me on Fanbase too. I think it's Steady Stepper. Yep, it's Steady Stepper. So y'all tap on me on all these social media platforms because we're gonna go, we're gonna grow, and we're gonna see y'all back next week with an abundant thoughts of how to break through some fears. Let's grow.
Let's grow.
Love y'all and vibrate in your magnificence.
What's a hot say?